Yes,
everybody's
thank you.
comfortable, I don't have a problem with the position.
I don't have any issue with it. I've talked to Marty about it as well. He doesn't have any issue with it. So, I mean, there's not a legal reason unless you had a personal reason that you thought it just would be a better thing, but I don't think that vice chair would get in the way of that
Okay.
at all.
I have no qualms with that.
Okay?
Need a motion?
Yes, we do.
I will make it.
So do we need separate motions or one
You
motion?
can do them both together.
Okay.
I'll make a motion for David to remain chair and Willem to remain vice chair.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Anything from the public? Nellie?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right. Next up on our new business is going to be the disposition of two properties. We'll take them separately. One is 139 North Ridgewood Drive and one is 231 South Ridgewood Drive. North Ridgewood Drive is first, and that will be the Nancessory lot. So we're going to do this in two steps. The first step will be tonight to dispose of the property to Ken LeBlanc for his proposal. We will come back, and the same thing will occur with the South Ridgewood property, where we will come back and discuss, approve an incentive package that would be there once we have everything kind of ironed out. But at this point, in order to go ahead and make sure that there's no problems with that, the disposition is the first step. So I would like to dispose of both of those properties as they're described to you in your agenda packets.
I have a comment.
Go right ahead.
It applies to both, but we'll since they're one at a time. The board obviously is not in the middle of the negotiation at this point, and I understand that's not how the process works. That's not the problem. There's been some talk, newspaper writings, that kind of stuff, that the contributions will be percentage based. And I just wanted to make a comment that I think, my personal opinion would be that that should be limited or either negotiated on a percentage based on an agreed amount, something that could be vetted up front, construction budget or whatever the case may be, something we can look over, and then set a cap or not to exceed a max guarantee, something along those lines, where it's a dollar amount and not a percentage. That seems a little open-ended, and both of these projects would end up with owner and developer being the same person, which further complicates the fact that you're sort of incentivizing not necessarily the highest efficiency. So I
Well,
think,
and Willem, I think one thing, at least on this first one, that was a big piece of our discussion, was making sure that it was limited and that we weren't exceeding, and that we needed to really look at those numbers.
yeah, like I
because
said,
we want
I
to
don't
get
know,
out of
I don't
hand.
really know where the negotiation is going, and I'm not too concerned about that. I just wanted to make a comment that I don't want to commit or have us try and write into an agreement a percentage that's not a set amount.
But let me clarify that. Yes, no, the agreement will not come to you with a percentage in there. It will be a dollar amount. The dollar amount, the way that we arrive at it, is probably going to be based somewhere on a percentage. I will tell you, like with 231, the percentage is actually less than 20%. But historically, CRAs have had to fill the gap, as we've kind of
Right.
called it, and it's been the 20%.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with how the calculation's made. I just think in the actual agreement, I just wanted
will
to
be
make
a
sure that
dollar
we
amount.
would have a number.
No, we will have an actual dollar amount that comes to you. It won't be a percentage at all.
Okay.
And
It
that
will-
percentage will kind of dictate a cap, right? That's more so what we talked about, was that would be like the maximum
The
contribution.
percentage is more of a justification of
Right.
how we got there. So, for
Right.
example, if somebody said, I've got a project that's going to cost $500,000, and we said we would be willing to commit $100,000, well, the logic would be because that's 20%, not. you
So
know,
it'll just level the field for future.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we've
business.
done with previous projects, is try to stay within that range. If you start to exceed it, and this is an opinion, this is not based on anything other than that. If you start to go into like a 30, 40, or whatever it might be, is the project really viable? Would
Right.
be
Right.
my question. So it's more of a justification for how we're arriving at that number, but you're going to get an actual number
Okay.
with everything else that we've ever done. So, yeah. But that's a very fair point to bring up.
Good, very good.
Any other comments or concerns?
Can we make a motion if we were on the committee or?
Yes.
So I'll make a motion to approve the concept for 139 North Ridgewood Drive submitted by Ken LeBlanc and instruct staff to move forward with this disposition to the city council for ratification.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Is there any discussion from the board? Anything from the public? Nelly?
Yes.
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 Yes. Murphy. Yes.
Yes. And we can follow suit with item C, 231 South Ridgewood. This is for the old Bank of America building.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve the concept for 231 South Ridgewood Drive submitted by Marmer Construction and instruct staff to forward this disposition to the city council for ratification.
Is there a second?
A second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion from the board? Anything from the public? Nelly?
Yes.
Yes.
Abstain.
Yes. Murphy. Yes.
Yes. All right. Up next is old business. Our first item up is our work plan and grants. Has everybody had an opportunity to look at those? And do we have any more discussion that we want to have tonight about those?
I just have a comment.
Go right ahead.
Would just be on the rental assistance grant that we have more discussion on what that looks like before we implement, but we would workshop that, right? Prior to.
We can, yes.
I
So
just-
you would like it workshopped?
I think we should. I think that there's a lot of different implications with that, like how we manage it after the fact and how much I think that there's quite a few things that we need to have some opportunity to discuss and put on the table and get feedback before we move forward with that. Because although I feel like it could potentially be a great thing, I also think it could be something that if we don't really talk through the potential problems with it and talk through some things, that it could create some big problems for us down the road.
That's fine.
So
Okay.
that's my only comment on that.
So before we award any lease agreement grants, we would bring it back to the board for additional discussion. And then the board ultimately always has the final authority on anything that they're going to do too.
Yeah, I think we just need to have a consistent process and really understand what that's going to look like. If we're going to be leasing properties and get into the property management world, I think we really need to we all need to be on the same page, because then how much additional work is that going to put on staff? How much additional time is that going to put on staff? How much will it put onto legal fees? What other implications are there with it beyond us just awarding whatever it is that we award? And is it worth it? You know, and just identifying maybe a couple of different ways and routes that we can go about getting the same result, whether it be us managing that property or not, because I just think that's a big ask also, and potentially could run into some issues with inconsistencies.
Fair enough. Okay. Any other comments?
So just to be clear, we're talking about two different things here. Workshop would be public
Yes.
input, and what you're saying would just be a case-by-case basis.
No, it's
Board
both.
only?
It's both.
Okay, it would be both. Okay.
Even after the workshop, the board still retains the authority
got you.
over anything that they're going to
Okay.
grant.
So we'll go through both
Yep.
steps.
But we
Yeah, I mean,
can-
I don't want to add extra work on the board, but also I'm worried about what potential, I mean, it took us a while to get what we're doing now with the disposition of property down and really get a good process. I feel like if we don't have an opportunity to talk through what potential challenges could be and everybody's experiences and things like that, I think that we'll be in a different situation in 6 months after we award our first one. I feel like it would be worth us having
I don't have
further
any issues with
discussion on
that.
it.
I mean, I think, going ahead and hashing out a little bit more of the details and kind of putting some goals and strategy behind it would be a good thing.
Okay.
So we can do that.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that was really my only comment.
Okay.
Beyond that, I can make a motion to approve the CRA's work plan and grants for the full year of 25-26, with us workshopping the rental assistance.
Perfect. Is there a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the board? Anything from the public?
Yes.
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 Yes. Murphy. Yes.
Yes. All right. Next is our final budget. Has everybody had a chance to go through that? And do you have any more questions or anything that you want to bring up?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution number 2025-1 as presented.
Skip.
Oh.
Go up to the. We'll do that one next.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Sorry. Wrong one. I'll make a motion to approve the CRA's final budget for full year 25-26.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion from the board? Anything from the public? Nelly?
Yes.
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 Yes. Now the budget resolution so we can fund the budget.
I'll make that motion.
You're on
Since
that
I was a little premature, right? I'm on a motion roll tonight. I'll make the motion to approve the resolution 2025-1 as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the board? Anything from the public? Nelly?
Yes.
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 Yes. Is there anything from the audience? All right, on to board member remarks. We'll start down here, sir.
David, I know we're still in negotiations on the agreement for North Ridgewood
Yes.
228.
Yes.
The only comment I wanted to make there, and I know I kind of had a question for Christy. I'm not sure if was getting lost in translation between legal counsel but I wanted to just make a comment that, and I think we agree on this, is I wanted to be clear that the date that would be written into the new agreement for the extension, if it's going to be a single date, I want to make sure that that's completion, and
Yes.
that how completion is spelled out
Okay.
clearly. And if it's not, I don't have a problem with it not being like, hey, this date, whatever. I think we talked about it. It's not very far away. Anyway, I forget exactly what date he had asked for. But if that date gets written down and it's not for everything, I want to make sure that we are very clear again about milestones, what's expected at what dates, just so that there's not a lapse between. What I'm concerned about is that some of the stuff that's already in default or dates that have passed, if it doesn't get renewed and that milestone have kind of gone by the wayside in the agreement, that there's no clawback for that then after the fact.
Okay, so you don't want to make sure we don't lose the clawback option.
Yes, so
Okay.
whether we move it all up or whether we reduce them in number and move
Mhm.
them up and set new milestones, or whether we just consolidate them all and set completion and define what that completion is. I just don't want to lose anything that's kind of in the past at this point. Because there was some January stuff,
Yes.
and then I think
Some
there was a
6
6 month
months.
stuff after that, and some of that stuff could already be past their dates, and I just don't want to
So
lose that in
where
the
are
new
they?
agreement.
Where are they on that project?
Next step would be permitting.
So they haven't started on the inside at all.
No, just the outside. They cleaned up the outside a little bit, and then they are supposed to start permitting. I want to say it's October.
Because when he came in front of us, he said he'd be done by October.
That's what
That
Regis
was
was trying to.
that
trying to
was
say.
the-
They're-
This is
reach.
why.
Yeah,
This
I
is
mean,
why I want to
really
be
need
very
it.
clear on those, because I just don't want to lose the opportunity for that agreement to go sideways, and especially since ownership is already transferred, I don't think we want to lose that last little
No, we
bit we're
don't.
holding on to.
Let me reach out to Robert and go through that with him and see where we are, see what's passed, see where, what's coming up that may or may not get missed. And then we'll start addressing that. I think what the attorney has done is said that he's looking at the end completion date is still kind of the final thing, if I'm not mistaken, right?
It is.
Um,
It is, yeah.
And if it's written that way, I'm also good with it. But we've got to be realistic here, and the
It is
reality
written that
is
way,
it's not going
right.
to work out that way.
That's
it's
where I
not
think
possible.
you're headed to, right?
Right.
If you,
And I don't have heartburn over any of the dates or when they get adjusted to. I just don't want to lose the opportunity of
no, I
them
understand.
going past.
Okay. I'll work with Robert and I'll get with Christie and we'll make sure that we don't lose any of that. I don't think we have, but I'll double check.
I'm not 100% sure in my head either. I just know that there was like I think there was a 1 year and
Yeah.
then 6 more months and then 6 more months for
That's kinda how
2
it's
years.
broken
And I
out.
think the third floor was completely left out of that original agreement.
I think
And,
you're right.
and
about
that's
that.
still fine with me. I just, like I said, I just want to refresh all those milestones.
Okay.
I think that
If
makes
we're not
sense.
going to consolidate it into just a completion, but I think
Okay.
that's probably a big ask at this point to go to completion date.
Let me look into that and find out and bring that back to you at the next meeting.
That was it.
Okay.
That was my question, so I'm good too. Yeah.
Rachel?
I'm good.
All right. Don't forget your evaluations for Christy. Please send those over to me, and we'll get those put together. And after they're compiled, we'll send them out like we always do. If there's nothing else, thank y'all for being here. Have a good night.